Good evening and welcome to Tinkering with Adkelar. This episode is what Adam Savage would call a one-day build. It took me about 2.5 days to complete the project, not including the planning phase. I asked around if it would be a good idea to do some plastic model kits, and the responses were even between yes and I don't mind. Since I haven't done any of these in quite some time, I went ahead and checked my paint supply. Almost all of them were okay. 20 plus years and still good. My dad, who was a professional painter early in his life, always said, store paint cans upside down to minimize air ingress and make them last longer. Seems to work. These tiny cans of paint are exactly the same. The only indication of the color is the lid. When you store them upside down, it's a very large game of memory to find the one you want. And this is where my current side project came into play. How do I store the cans upside down while still being able to use them without searching every last one? I wanted to have a paint rack that can be turned upside down, but then all the cans would fall out. And that's when inspiration struck. Why not make a folding rack that interleaves the rows of paint so they would support each other when turning upside down? I took measurements of the cans and fired up OpenSCAD to have an easy way of trying out different sizes for the rack. This led to the question, how do I keep it upright when I open the doors? Why not attach it to a carrier that houses all the other tidbits I need to make these model kits? Brushes, paint cleaner, glue? And I also don't have all the shades of paint yet, so I needed some spare slots. Hence I decided to put 2 identical racks on the carrier, supporting 96 cans of paint in total. I used some cheap plywood to build my new box. The sheets are the size of A3 paper, and I laminated 2 of them to get the thicker frame sheets. Cutting out the parts on my table saw was quite a chore. The smaller ones required creative ways of keeping my fingers at safe distance. Don't worry, I still got all 8 of them. Up next, lots of glue. I first tried to just clamp the frames together, but the wood I got was warping from the start, so I had to add some nails to keep everything aligned. I drilled and pushed in some nails, mostly because I don't have a nail gun around. The box itself has a T-shaped strut inside that makes sure the handle will take all the weight. The screws for the hinges were a tad bit too long, so I snipped them in half. Still plenty strong, with 3 screws per element. To keep the racks from falling off, I added a few hooks in the back. These would slide into eyelets on the frame. I I also included one of the hooks on each side to keep the doors shut when the rack is upside down. Notice the doors are asymmetric, so the hook will only allow them to open if the rack is right side up. After a bit of sanding and a coat of clear paint, it is now ready for service. Note that I could have made it fit better, but this is a shop tool and I wanted to get the actual project going, so I didn't spend too much time on fitting and precise cutting. Good enough is sometimes good enough. So, now that I'm stocked up on paint and spent a day to save a few minutes of marking paint cans, let's get started with the first model kit. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time!